Senior Resident, Department of Pediatrics. So, who all have already done pediatrics postings? I know some similar faces that I've seen already, and few are going to start from Monday, I think. Which batch is going to come? Who all are going to come? Okay. Okay. C batch is going to come. Okay. So, we are going to start with this topic, which is, I think, the first topic of your, which is your first topic of theory, which is normal growth and factors affecting growth. Okay. So before going on with that topic, I want to ask you, like, what exactly do you understand by the word growth? Can you tell me? Anybody wants to add to it? Anything. It can be wrong, it can be right. Anybody can start. Okay. So we'll start with this topic. Before that, I want to know what is your idea of growth. अगर कोई बोलता है कि बच्चे का ग्रोथ नहीं हो रहा है या बच्चे का ग्रोथ मैडम अच्छा नहीं है या बच्चा अच्छे से ग्रो कर रहा है, व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय दैट? व्हाट डू यू थिंक ऑफ इट? व्हाट डू यू थिंक द मदर इज ट्राइंग टू कन्वे? Continuous. So we know that growth is continuous. Anybody else?
Maybe especially the increase in the size of the body.
Okay. So size, height, weight, all of those factors. Okay. Anybody else wants to add anything to this? You want to add? Take the mic. Take the mic. There's a mic there, na? Pick it up. Okay, so very good. So, physical maturation that can be quantified. So, let's move to the definition. So, growth is that there is a net increase in the size and mass of the tissue. Okay, so we can quantify growth, isn't it? So, that is very important, that it is largely associated with the multiplication of cells in our body, okay, and increase in the intracellular substance. So a boy becoming taller or a girl becoming heavier in terms of weight, gaining weight, both are considered to be growth. Now another term that is synonymously used with growth is development. So development cannot be quantified. Okay. So for development, we need to know it is the maturation of function of the myelination process of our nervous system. कि बच्चा बहुत mature हो गया है, बच्चा बहुत developed हो गया है. So when you will see further, you are going to read about the developmental milestones, and in growth, you will be able to quantify those things. Okay. Okay. So why is growth important? What is the significance of growth? Significance of growth comes because, of course, we can distinguish a child from an adult. At the same time, it is indicating the overall growth and wellness of a child also. Okay? And nation's economy waits on it. This is not important, but the second topic of discussion here is what are the factors which are causing this growth. Okay, factors affecting growth. So whenever we are talking about this topic now, every time there is an elaboration on factors for any pediatric thing. Remember, there will be two important major things that we need to know. Number one, what are the factors which are fetal factors or prenatal factors. Okay, the prenatal factors will come before the baby is born. Okay, and the second one is the postnatal factors, the factors affecting after the baby's birth. Okay, so prenatal factors and postnatal factors. Natal मतलब क्या होता है? Birth. Okay, so before birth, after birth. So before birth, three things. Baby is in the mother's womb, so there can be three factors: placental factors, fetal factors, and maternal factors. So this is important. Why? Because every time you will be asked this question. Maybe in these terms, in gynecology you'll be asked, in obs you'll be asked. So these are very important. Okay. So what are the factors we need to know? That in terms of prenatal factors, 3 important things are important. Okay. So let us not go further. We will elaborate, take the answers out from you. Okay. Now, second line will start first. Give the mic to them. Pass over. So, I told you that, I told you that prenatal factors, there are 3 factors, okay? Fetal factors, maternal factors and placental factors. So, you tell me something of a mother that will determine the baby's growth. You have done your family adoption in first year, so you know what all things we think in a mother, right? By PSM, they must have taught you. Tell me. Enumerate.
The mother's dietary habits.
Okay, so she told one. Next. Mother's diet. Next. What about the mother? She told diet. Anything else that pops up? What about the mother's height, mother's weight? That will also determine. If the mother is very frail, she's only 30 kgs, will she be able to have a healthy baby? She might, but it will be an hindrance. Okay. Next.
The diseases which are
Exactly. If the mother has hypertension, the mother has diabetes, mother has any sort of problem like SLE or any autoimmune condition. Okay. Next. What else? Sit. Once you are done, you sit. 1 point, then the next person. Maternal, any other maternal factor? We talked about the mother's diet, mother's physical parameters, and mother's diseases. Next.
the mental condition.
Very good. So, mental condition is the mother saying. If the mother is having any psychiatric problem, she will have a problem with the baby's conception. Next.
Mother's age.
Mother's age. Very good. We have not considered that only. This is one of the most important points that should come. Next.
The genetic makeup of the mother.
Very good. Genetic maker of the mother. Next.
And if the family has a holistic or typical upbringing itself, the financial
Socio-economic condition. Very good. Next. I'm very happy. You guys are very smart actually. Chalo, next.
if the mother has supplement nutrition.
Okay, so mother's supplementary diet. Apart from diet also, there is iron, folic acid, calcium that we supplement, those things. Anything else that comes into the mind? One thing I have not got the answer yet. That I am waiting. Very important.
The
Hygiene. Good. I did not think of that. Anything else you want to add?
any kind of toxins.
Exactly. Her habits. Does she take alcohol? Does she smoke cigarettes? Is she in an environment where there is passive smoking? Those are important. So let's look into, first we'll look into the maternal factors. We'll come back to this slide again. Okay. Okay. So we have spoken most of it. Nah? So number 1, we have poor nutrition, already spoken about. Anemia, already spoken about. Recent pregnancy, we missed that. So a mother, that is why we talk about birth spacing, right? Any spacing after beyond 3 years is recommended. But you will see mothers who, like, they do not take lactational amenorrhea as an important thing. They will conceive within 7-8 months of getting delivering a first baby also. So that is one point. High parity. So a mother is having 4 children, 3 children. It's difficult for her to have a healthy 5th child, right? Next, tobacco, drug abuse, alcohol intake, and pregnancy-induced hypertension will again come into the maternal diseases. Next, multiple pregnancies, any chronic systemic disease, and last but not the least, any infection that she has acquired before, which was not important at that time. You must have read about toxoplasmosis. Did you read about torch infections and all? Did anybody read? Okay. So we'll go to that. But remember, torch infection of group of diseases or viruses are not important for anybody except for two people. Number one, an immunosuppressed person. Number two is a pregnant female. Because pregnancy is an immunosuppressed state. The immunity of a mother is reduced during pregnancy. So, torch group of infections are important in case of a mother who is a pregnant female and for an immunosuppressed person. Okay. So, we talked about the, okay, we'll go back to the next point, which is so, we'll start with wherever we left off. Sir, stand up. Placental factors. We know what is placenta. Are we clear? We read about placenta in first year, physiology. Remember? Okay, now. Placental factors. What are the various placental factors that we should remember?
Whether the baby is getting proper nutrition or not.
Okay, what are the placental factors determining that? Think little bit more. Little bit more. You told me why placental factor is important. I am asking you what is the placental factor determining the baby's growth?
Exchange of gases.
Huh? Exchange of gases. Madam, what do you mean by that? You mean that it should have proper villus, right? Like the placenta should be well formed. It should not be a small placenta. Okay, next. So, well formed placenta is one. Okay, next.
Will the mother must take any kind of medication that will pass through?
Very good. Any medication that is decreasing or hampering the blood flow in the placenta. Next.
And if we read about the toxins or toxins, it can easily pass through the placenta.
No, she told that. Next, anything else? If it is if the placental factor is this, that you sit down. So we need to know about this case. There are multiple pregnancies. One placenta, if it is a monochorionic, dichorionic, monoamniotic, those factors come into the play. So if there are multiple pregnancies, one placenta cannot provide that amount of nutrition. So that is one factor. So we look into the placental factors. Okay. So placenta is essential for nutrition, like I said. It is very important because the baby is getting all the nutrition from placenta. Now, placental nutrition is enhanced by what are those factors? The increased villus surface. Number two is the decreased diffusion distance. That means the placenta part of diffusion should be decreased so that more amount of gaseous exchange happens. Next, decreased dilatation of the fetal capillaries and decreased resistance of vasculature. These are a few points you need to mug up. There is no science behind it. You need to mug it up. Okay? Next, start with what are the fetal factors? These are the most important factors because you might be asked a question on just this or what are the factors affecting growth. Okay? Very good. Genetical disorder, trisomy, monosomies. Okay. Next.
If the developmental stages are in the correct process.
What?
If the developmental stages
Developmental stages are.
in the correct sequence, if there's any
So, you are saying that fetus is not developing well. That's what I'm telling you. That is what is causing the decrease in. You tell me what is that thing? What is the problem with the fetus? So she told one about structure. So imagine for anything to happen in your body, two things are very important. One, your genetics. Second is the hormones. Without hormones, nothing will happen. Okay? So sit down. So what are the hormones we are talking about here for the fetal development?
HCG.
HCG. Are you sure? Yes, tell me a few more hormones. Tell me a few more hormones. And tell few more hormones, you tell me the name of a few more hormones. No need of telling anything, just name of hormones you tell me. Huh? Prolactin, okay. Then oxytocin he told. Next. Progesterone, estrogen. Then I want you to come to the answer. What is this hormone that is here, secreting from here? Then what is that hormone which is regulating our sugar? Very good. So these two hormones play a very important role in fetal development. Okay? Not your growth hormone. You might be thinking, "Arey, growth hai, let's write growth hormone." No. These two important things. Insulin and thyroid. Okay? So now we'll look into it. We'll look how this whole structure happens. What is insulin-like growth factor 1 and how it works. Okay? So, before that, like she told, that genetic potential, how your structure is, that tall parents will have tall children. Short parents can also have tall children because tall, the height dependency tall is as a dominant trait. Okay? So, head size is related to parents. Sometimes you look at one baby, you will feel like, oh God, the baby's head is so big. Then you might be seeing the father. The father also has a big head. So, don't jump into conclusion right then and there. You need to evaluate a baby with the family. That is why a family is very important when you are taking a history, doing examination in pediatrics. Okay? Sex-wise, boys are larger than girls, and race-wise, growth differs in different races. Like if you see Caucasian people, they are taller. If you see our trait, Mongol people are a little shorter. If you see the trait of German people, they are very tall, they are very muscular. So trait-wise, ethnicity-wise, race-wise, your traits will change. Okay? Next is growth promotion and growth inhibition. What are those? A fetal growth factors. So, some which will increase our growth, some which will inhibit our growth. So, growth promotion is insulin-like growth factor 1 and 2. 70% of the cases it is this particular hormone causing the maximum work. Okay? Number 1. Number 2. I want you to know these names. I don't want you to remember anything. You're going to read everything in your final year because pediatrics is itself a final year subject. But if you pay little attention now, basics will be clear. Okay? Next is your epidermal growth factor. You will remember it we take it hard to remember. But just read. Okay? Next, transforming growth factor alpha, TGF alpha. There is PDGF, which is platelet-derived growth factor, fibroblast growth factor, and nerve growth factor. You must have already read it, na? Read, na? This is physiology also. In pathology also, you will get it again. So, that time when you read, you will remember my lecture. The ma'am told this is important. So, remember, these are growth promoting factors. So, how do you remember? Remember, बीटा बनता है बेटा. Okay, so बेटा हमेशा बाप से बड़ा होना चाहता है ना, so he will inhibit the growth. Okay, so TGF beta is a inhibiting factor. Next, Mullerian and anti-Mullerian hormone. Okay, and inhibin and activin family of hormones. So are you clear with those words? Next. Next are the fetal hormones. Like I said, insulin and thyroid hormones are majorly, okay, and also it is like the importance is accretion. What do you mean by the word accretion? Anybody can tell me? If you started your pathology, you know what is accretion? Okay, accretion means like joining things, okay, it is like accumulating things inside. It is growing by taking things from outside, that is accretion. Okay, to assimilate. Okay, so that is accretion. So this is important. Why? Because it is for both tissue maturation also and accretion also. Okay, next is glucocorticoids. It is required for what? It is required for growth, maturation of all the organs, which are your liver, your gut, your lungs. Note is this, growth hormone plays the most minimal role. It's not wrong, you can tell it, but majorly it is insulin and thyroid. In this lecture, if you remember only this sentence, more than enough for me. I don't want much anything more than that from you people. So overall regulation, you see this. This is the sum up. So if you remember this slide, more than enough. Okay. So normal glucose and amino acid availability, that is there. This will be hampering your growth hormone. This will be hampering your insulin. If you remember, see that slide. Don't look at me. See the first line, normal glucose and amino acid, because you might be like, ma'am, हम लोग तो growth के बारे में पढ़े, आप glucose और insulin में क्यों आ गए? Because your entire body workup, if we divide it, is basically carbon dioxide. You're basically carbon, oxygen and stuff and proteins, right? So at the end of the day, you will be seeing that normal glucose and amino acid availability is affecting your insulin, like growth factor 1. It is affecting your growth factor, insulin also affecting your insulin. All together is affecting your growth. So, mota, if you don't remember anything, draw this much and come, it is more than enough. Okay? So, we did this, we did the maternal factors and we did the fetal factors, and we are done with the prenatal factors. Clear? Any question till there? Okay. So, we'll move to the postnatal factors. Okay? Postnatal factors may tell me, there is environment. So, if you see a plant, if a plant is going to grow, you need a plant to have a good environment. There should be a farmer or a gardener who is going to water, who is going to clean the weed, there should be proper air, oxygen, carbon dioxide should be available for the plant to grow. So that is where your environment comes into the picture. So what are the various environmental factors? We'll start again. No, we'll start from you. Tell me, what are the various environmental factors that we are going to talk about?
Socioeconomic.
Very good. Next. You told your points, I think, है ना?
If it is in a healthy family.
So family. Family. Next. When family comes into the picture, what else comes? What else comes into the picture with family? Okay. That is same. What else comes into the picture with family? Any other postnatal factor you remember? Don't talk about that. Talk about anything else you want to talk about. Any other postnatal factor. You want to, okay, you answer the next question then. Any other postnatal factor?
If there is exposure to any radiations,
Okay, very good. Radiation exposure. Chalo, next. Very good. Next. Badhiya. Next. I want her to answer. Now you answer. Okay, we are in your league now. Tell me.
the mother should have a good support system.
So she already mentioned about family. Socioeconomic part will come there only, na? So support-wise you're talking about, है ना? Okay. Anything else? Your neighbor should also be good. You should be having a house in a supportive environment. That includes your neighbor also. Plus sanitation also. Accessibility to proper clean drinking water also. So hygiene will be considering that, but proper drinking water is also available. There should be proper housing. So those factors will determine all the postnatal factors will come. So first important factor is sex. The sex of the child. Why? Why? Because boys and girls, they do not grow same initially, even if they grow similar. You might be seeing changes right after the baby is like 6 months, 7 months old. It is not like any particular rule, but mostly girls develop faster. They'll show better social skills, better communication skills than boys. Boys take some time, not 100% by the rule, but it can be like rule of thumb wise 80% boys will show a little delay in their growth in certain milestones, social milestones mainly. Okay, language and social milestones, when you will read about it. People who have attended pediatric posting know about it little bit, not too much, but thoda thoda you guys know. So you see this, don't focus on anything. Look at that slide on the, so see, now is it visible to everybody? So what I am telling you, in the x-axis there are age in years, and the y-axis is the height velocity. That with year how much height is increasing. So the dotted line is for the girls, okay, and the straight line which is not dotted, that is for the boys. So when they grow, infancy, they'll go faster. The growth, you see, both the lines are tracing the same margin. They are together, isn't it? They're together. In the childhood, there is a sudden dip in the female wise. That is not very appreciable, but when you go to the juvenile and adolescent phase, you'll see there is a spike. What is that? What is that spike? Anybody? When do you see a spike in height in boys and girls? Puberty. Very good. So in puberty, this is the pubertal point. But you see, there is a slight change in velocity also. How much is the peak for the girls? It is something like 8 centimeter. But for boys, how much is it? 10 centimeters. So that means boys will have a higher height as compared to girls, and it will happen during puberty. Number one. Any other thing you have noticed in this photo? Any other thing? Anything else? Do you notice it? Pardon. Take the mic and tell for everybody. Where is the mic? Take it.
The graph of puberty is at which for girls.
Girls. Very good. So age of puberty for girls is earlier as compared to boys. Okay. So I want you both, all of you, to remember this. From this class, if you remember even like 2-3 things. One is that which hormone plays. Second is this. That for boys, the height will be more as compared to girls, but puberty in girls will be earlier as compared to boys. Clear? Next. Next comes to genetic factors. Okay, like she told, genetic factors are important thing. We already know about it. That if a boy is having any chromosomal defect, like dwarfism or Down syndrome or any sort of Turner syndrome or Klinefelter, they will be very tall or very short. Next comes to gene mutation, like Prader-Willi syndrome. So these names now you remember them if it is possible in your final year. Right now just listen, okay? Because I have seen only a case of Noonan syndrome and Marfan's. I have not seen Prader-Willi syndrome in my so many years of in being this field, okay? But I've seen for Noonan syndrome and I've seen for Marfan syndrome. Marfan syndrome is very common. You will feel in some OPDs, you might be even seeing that Marfanoid features are there. Not clear-cut Marfan syndrome, but Marfanoid features can be present, okay? Next is environment. Like we told that if there is nutritional deficiencies, a mother who is not fed well, a family which is nutritionally deficient, they will not have good fetal growth. Okay? Toxins, infections. Okay? Next. Hormones. Again hormones. Here, growth hormone will come. So growth hormone deficiency, hypothyroidism, then your this one resistance. So growth hormone resistance is also one thing, that the receptors are not responding to the raised growth hormone. Okay. Social factors. So you divide all of them into 4-5 points. Okay. Social factors, hormones issues, environmental factors, toxins, genetical province, sex. So all of that will come. Okay. So these are all done. Next, we go into the late consequences of a poor fetal growth. Now, all of these hypotheses, you might not remember the name. Basically, the alterations in, so don't remember all these names. Just read along with me. If you have any doubt, you tell me. These are a little higher for you, but basic, you should know it, because I want you to know more than what is needed. Because then only you remember what is needed. Okay? So, alterations in the fetal nutrition, okay, and endocrine status leads to what? Programming. Okay? So, permanent changes in the structure, physiology, and metabolism. So, IUGR infants, so what happens is, you know what is IUGR? Anybody knows what is IUGR? IUGR is, see, whenever there is an alteration in the baby's nutrition or genetics, or the mother's nutrition or genetics, or the placental problems, like we read, that so prenatal factors are determining your IUGR. Okay, what is IUGR? It is intrauterine growth restriction. Okay, intrauterine growth restriction. So name only it is there, intrauterine, inside the uterus, growth restriction. So a baby who is IUGR has some problem in the prenatal factors. Yeah, the prenatal factors. So those you already know. What are those factors? So these programming are permanent changes that happens in IUGR baby, and those babies have a higher risk of having complications like what? Low birth weight, diabetes. Okay, there can be seizures, there can be hypocalcemia, there can be hypothermia, there can be increased risk of infections. So IUGR cause can be multiple, but ultimate consequence will be same, that this baby will have all this increased risk of diabetes, hypertension, hyperlipidemia, coronary artery diseases. So these changes that has happened, remember, the whole consequence of the baby having intrauterine growth restriction will be after 30-40 years, that the baby will develop what? CAD or hypertension or diabetes type 2. Imagine. So that is why those are very important, because these are permanent changes that are happening. Okay, so this is my first hypothesis. When it is boring, you tell me. I will talk about something else. Okay. So next is the laws of growth. Okay. So for the very first thing, what did she tell? The growth is a continuous process. It is something that is happening every day. For us, physical growth might not be happening anymore, but mental growth, brain capacity growth is increasing, right? It is always changing, ever changing. So the rate of growth is not uniform. Imagine, this is exactly what we did the last slide, that the growth in infancy is coming down, in childhood it becomes stagnant until the time it is puberty, where there is again a growth spurt. Clear? Next slide we'll talk about So next slide is what are the various phases of growth. There is what? Acceleration, there is deceleration, and there is steadiness. When there is accelerated growth, like I told you, a baby in the first 2 years will grow the maximum. Very fast. The growth will be very fast. Okay? So that is an accelerated growth. So it is very fast in the first half of gestation, in the first year of life, and puberty. So these are 3 accelerations that we see. What is deceleration? in the second year. Second year, you will see that the baby is not growing as much as it's supposed to. There can be a little bit of like regression also. Why? Because here the babies will fall more sick. There can be chances the weight will be fluctuating. That is why deceleration happens. Okay. Last but not the least, steady rate. Steady rate of growth happens in 6 to 9 years. Right pre-pubertal age. Okay. Right after puberty, again acceleration starts. So acceleration, deceleration, steadiness, again acceleration. And now in which phase are we? Steady. Okay. Yeah. After passing second year, definitely steady. Okay. So if you remember, this is exactly what we have done so far. We'll go to the next part. Here what we have talked about, this is exactly this only, that particular height attained and how much height we are going to gain. But if we are going to become 155 centimeters, how much percentage of that will be gained in infancy? How much will gain it in childhood? How much will be gained in puberty? It is all determined. Okay. So you see, 45% of our total height is gained during infancy. Okay. Then 47% overall, it is gained during your childhood. Okay. And puberty, this is basically giving us 8% of our height. Now you must be telling me, madam, you told that childhood is steady. No. The period is very long. It might be steady, but 1 centimeter each year will be a lot of centimeters, right? But the growth spurt in puberty, within a small span of time, the height is increasing much more. That is why they are saying growth is accelerated. Need not be you are going to attain 50% of your height in puberty. That is not the case. You will only gain 8% of your total height during your puberty. Okay. So again, predetermined growth factors, we know about it already. You can write an essay out of it now, I feel. Right? So hormones differentiate. Like I told you, prenatally it was your insulin and thyroid. Infancy it is growth hormone, thyroid and nutrition. Okay? Then in childhood it becomes your growth hormone and thyroid, and puberty, these are your gonadotrophic hormones, the gonadal hormones that will cause your gonadal development. Okay? So this slide is important. I'll tell you which slide is important, only note those down. This is very important. Okay? Okay. Now this, I think we've already discussed this. Cephalocaudal and proximal to distal development. Last but not the least, this is very important. This slide is very important. I want you to focus on these 4 differently. Na? Sir, zoom in. Na? Zoom in. This slide will come in NEET PG because it is very important slide. They'll teach you very nicely this topic. So, see. So, 4 things are very important, okay, in growth. Number 1 is brain development. Next is somatic development. Then is lymphoid development. And last but not the least, your gonadal development. So, these graphs, they will give you and tell which phase of growth is this graph indicative of. Like that question will come. Even in your second year, the final also you'll have, I think, MCQs. Then also this question can come. Okay. So, think very nicely. Most of the ads that we see of this protein shake and Horlicks, what do they say? 5 साल तक आपके बच्चे का सबसे पूर्ण रूप में brain का विकास हो जाता है, which is this, that your brain development will happen in the first 2 years, the maximum. You see the brain growth? So 95% of your brain development happens in the first 2 years. So there comes another concept, which is 1000 days nutrition. What is that? 1000 days nutrition. If you calculate, 1000 days nutrition is exactly from the time of conception to the baby's second birthday. That is 1000 days. Baby's first birthday actually. Baby's first birthday will roughly be 1000 days. Almost like, sorry, second birthday. I'm messing it up. So second birthday will be your 1000 days of nutrition. Clear? So brain growth 95% will happen by the age of your 2 years. For second birthday it will happen. Next comes somatic development. Somatic growth is your body growth. See, it's having a growth till infancy, then second year to 8th year, childhood phase, it is having a normal parallel slope. And again, there is a height increase in puberty. Clear? Third slide, the lymphoid growth. The lymphoid growth happens between 2 to 8 years. Okay, so that is why during 2 to 8 years, you will see the mother will come with you, कि madam यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा गांठ सा है. Those lymph nodes become bigger. For any minor infections, this will grow. So lymphoid growth, even tonsillitis, tonsillar enlargement, this will happen during that phase of 2 to 8 years. So then lymphoids regress. So see, there is a regression also. So there is only one slide among them that shows regression, which is that lymphoid. So imagine, is it clear for all of you? Last is gonadal development. We all know gonads develop after puberty, so the spike will be delayed. Clear? Any doubt with all these 4 points? Is it clear to you? Concepts are clear? Any question in this? I ask right now. I hope you will be able to explain it to your friends who are not here. Okay? So, this is what this slide is talking about. That there are certain laws of growth. We taught first that Carlsberg hypothesis, then this hypothesis. All these hypothesis names you might not remember, but these slides are very important. These graphs are very important. Okay? Then we'll talk about the periods of growth. See, all of this, I think we have read it in class 12 also, little bit, na? Ovum किसको बोलते हैं, zygote किसको बोलते हैं, ठीक है ना? Fetus किसको बोलते हैं? So this thing you can remember, but I would say focus on the postnatal period to be more. Okay, what is the neonatal phase? Neonatal phase is the first 28 days. That is neonatal phase. Why neonatal phase is most important? Because that is the phase where babies need to be the most cared. Because India's neonatal mortality is quite high. Okay, so we need to make all the changes in the mother's environment, the baby's condition, because neonatal period is important. So again, this neonatal period or the newborn period can be divided into 2 parts. Anybody can tell me what are those 2 parts in neonatal period, first 28 days? So there is an early neonatal phase and there is a late neonatal period. So early neonatal period is the first 7 days. Okay, and late neonatal period is from 7th day till 28th day. Clear? So that is why, if you remember, see, our science is backed up by our taboos. Most of you will see that the mother and the baby is isolated for the first month. The reason being this. The reason is not that they are not clean or something, which we tend to say, but it is because of this reason that neonatal period, the mother and the baby should be separated for maintaining their hygiene and maintaining so that the baby does not get infections from unnecessary people visiting them. Okay? Next comes infancy from 1 month to 1 year. Okay? The rest everything is the same. Again, adolescent age group is important. 10 to 18 years or 10 to 19 years. Okay? Now, these are the parameters of growth. We'll go a little fast here because we will do this in practicals also. In your examination, you'll do this. So, what are those? We have weight, we have height, we have head circumference, we have chest circumference, we have arm span, we have upper segment, lower segment ratio. Clear? So, first is your weight. Weight we take in kgs in India, and how it increases we are going to know. So, normal weight of a baby is 2.5 to 3 kgs. Less than 2.5 kg we call them low birth weight. We know that. Do we know that? Okay. So, lengthwise of a normal baby is 50 centimeters. Head circumference is something around 33 centimeters. Okay, chest circumference will be also around 35 centimeters. So if you talk about upper segment, lower segment ratio, you will see that the baby's upper segment is longer. See a baby, it is 1.7:1 ratio. So by the time baby will grow, the upper segment will become smaller, the lower segment will become bigger. So the ratio starts on decreasing. Clear hai? Till so am I getting your attention? Okay. So about the age, we told about the weight also. First is weight. Weight we take in kgs or grams. So first 3 months, normally the weight gain can be 10 to 40 grams per day के हिसाब से, and after that it starts decreasing. So roughly you remember, if the baby's birth weight is x kg, it will become 2 times of the birth weight by 5th month. Okay, it will become 3 times of the birth weight by 1 year. Am I clear? So 7. If the baby's birth weight is 2 kg, by 1 year what will be the baby's weight? 6 kg, right? Clear? By 5 months it will become what? 4 kg. So this is basic. Apart from that, something that is very common is how we do it in beyond 2 years. Now we can do it in terms of age and years only. Age in years into plus 4 into 2. This is the formula, mota to take out. Okay. Next, postnatal height or length. So less than 2 years will take length. After 2 years will take what? Will take height. Okay. Length and height are synonymous depending on what is the age group. Okay. So how we take it, what is the correct method, all of that we'll do in practicals. But basic these things now they'll ask you in practicals more. They will not ask these things in your theory. They can ask you this question in your MCQ. That's it. They cannot ask this in your theory because there's nothing to write in this. So height velocity, you see, maximum growth will be during infancy only. 3.5 centimeter per month, 2 centimeter per month. Okay, then it starts decreasing. It becomes year ka hisab. So imagine per month if the baby is growing 3.5 centimeters, in 3 months baby is going to grow how much? 10.5 centimeters almost, which is a lot. Nah? Whereas compared to that, 3 to 10 years you see, baby is only growing 5 to 6 centimeters per year. Clear? These are all ratios, not very important. Just imagine by 7 years or 6 years, the upper segment, lower segment ratio becomes 1:1. 6 years to 7 years. Okay? So in adults it is how much? Today your homework is this. Upper segment, lower segment calculation. Now you'll be like, Madam, kaun sa point hai? Your ASIS or your pubertal, this one. Pubic tubercle would be your this point. Okay, you take your full height minus the lower segment height, then get your upper segment height. You do that ratio today and see. For adults it will be 0.9. Okay, it is because our lower segment will be longer as compared to our upper segment. Then comes head circumference. It is increasing by 2 centimeter per month first 3 months. Then 1 centimeter per month for next 3 months, then 0.5 centimeter per month for next 6 months. So this is how it is changing. Postnatal skeletal growth. You have read about those ossification centers in anatomy. Now comes the importance, clinical correlation of it. So you remember, if any child is found on the street and we don't know about the age of the child, we do X-rays of that child to know. So you will learn more of it in forensic. When you will be in 3rd year, you'll know about it. So forensic plays an important role in this because of the skeletal maturation and your ossification centers. Okay. Next, postnatal growth of dentition. If anybody can tell me what is the first teeth that the baby develops? The lower center incisor. So that's the first teeth that comes or buds. Around which age? Anybody remembers? almost 6 to 7 months they'll come. So this is what is your basic funda. You remember that last का जो point है ना वो important है कि how many teeth are expected. This is a NEET PG question. Expected number of teeth is equal to age in months minus 6. Okay. K, if you get a 12-month-old baby, how many teeth will that baby have? 6. 18-month-old baby, 12 teeth. Okay. So how many teeth are there? In a milk teeth, how many do we have? 20. Yes. So you cannot say 24 by calculating for months and months. Okay. So remember it's 20 maximum, and by the age of like almost 2.5 years, almost all the teeth will come. Okay. Last but not the least, we have the permanent teeth. Eruption starts around 6 to 7 years. So Hisab is same. First teeth, milk teeth, 6 to 7 months. Permanent teeth, 6 to 7 years. Easy calculation? Yeah. So this is the last slide. Any question, any doubt, anything it can be, anybody has any. Did you understand anything or not? I want you to just tell me. If you don't understand, we can go back to any topic that you did not. Or if you felt sleepy, you can give me feedback that ma'am, from the next time, you make the slides like this, it will be more interesting. You want more pictures in your slides? Do you want, or is it fine? This font is fine. Minimal writing with, is it fine? Okay. So basic of this class, 3 points. Growth. What is definition? For you, basic is like increase in number of cells. Okay. Next, what is important is, what are the factors? Factors में divide कर लो. Prenatal, postnatal. Prenatal, you know 3 things. Fetal, placental, maternal, and postnatal, environmental and genetical. So environmental, all of those things will come. ठीक है? Sex will come, the nutrition will come, or your environmental factors will come, socioeconomic strata will come in postnatal factors. Then hormones. Which age group, what hormone is important? Before birth, recall with me, before birth, what is hormone? Louder. Thyroid and insulin. After birth, first 3 months, the first 1 year, growth hormone, thyroid and nutrition. Very good. Next, during childhood, it will be which one? Insulin and growth factor. In the adolescent age group, it will be which one? Yeah. Now, those 3-4 slides, the 3-4 graphs. What are the 4 graphs we talked about? Brain development, somatic growth, lymphoid tissues and gonadal development. So all the slides, if you close your eyes, you should know which slide we are talking about. Which slide among them will have a deceleration? Lymphoid, because they regress. Okay? Rest everything will either have a slope or it will have an acceleration. So these few points you should take from today's theory class. Nothing else is important. Okay? Rest everything you will revise again in your practicals. This we will not revise again. Clear? So questions, what all parts can come, I discussed that. And anything else? Got it? Sure. Have a good day. Bye-bye.